VanEck and Grayscale have submitted amended documents for their proposed BNB ETF to the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. This marks a procedural update in the ongoing effort to launch an exchange-traded fund tied to BNB, the native token of the BNB chain ecosystem. The amended filings suggest that both asset managers are refining their proposals, possibly in response to regulatory feedback or internal adjustments. These updates are visible in the SEC's EDGAR database, where registration statements and amendments are publicly accessible. The filing does not indicate approval or rejection by the SEC, but rather a routine step in the ETF application process. Both VanEck and Grayscale are among the most prominent digital asset managers in the U.S., and their synchronized pursuit of BNB ETF filings suggests a strategic and coordinated approach to regulatory engagement. BNB is one of the few altcoins currently under active ETF consideration, and if either filing progresses, it could signal broader acceptance of altcoin-backed ETFs in the U.S. market. The amendment process is common in ETF applications, where sponsors revise language, disclosures. Most people arrive after the move is obvious and the easy upside is gone. We focus on serious crypto education and high-quality signals before the crowd rushes in, so you can understand the setup earlier and move sooner. If you want that edge, visit the link below now. Or structural elements to align with evolving market conditions or regulator comments. Investors can monitor the SEC's filing alerts to track further updates on these proposals. No public timeline has been announced for a final decision on either BNB ETF proposal. The significance of these amendments lies in their procedural weight, not in a final ruling. The next signal to watch is whether the SEC requests further information or schedules a formal review meeting. If either firm receives a non-objection letter or a formal approval, it could trigger increased institutional interest in BNB and broader ETF-related activity for other altcoins. The BNB chain ecosystem may also benefit from increased visibility if the ETF is approved, as it could attract more institutional capital into BNB-based assets. However, the process remains uncertain, and the SEC has yet to provide a clear timeline or outcome for any of the pending applications. The fact that VanEck and Grayscale are both pursuing BNB ETFs simultaneously suggests a shared belief in the token's market potential and regulatory viability. This could also signal a broader industry trend of asset managers exploring altcoin ETFs beyond Bitcoin and Ethereum. The BNB ETF remains a key indicator for the broader crypto ETF movement, and its progress could influence how other altcoins are evaluated for similar products. The mechanism behind ETF amendments often involves refining legal language, adjusting custody arrangements, or clarifying investor protections. These changes are meant to align with the SEC's expectations and to ensure the product meets regulatory standards. The stakes for both firms are high, as a successful BNB ETF could open new doors. Most people arrive after the move is obvious and the easy upside is gone. We focus on serious crypto education and high-quality signals before the crowd rushes in, so you can understand the setup earlier and move sooner. If you want that edge, visit the link below now. For altcoin exposure in traditional investment portfolios, it could also serve as a precedent for other tokens seeking similar treatment. The next signal investors should watch for is whether the SEC issues a request for additional information or schedules a formal meeting to discuss the proposals. Until then, the process remains in a procedural phase, with no final outcome in sight. The BNB ETF's journey reflects the broader regulatory landscape for digital assets in the U.S., where clarity and consistency remain key challenges for both regulators and market participants.